Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace be on the speaker, the one who speaks the truth and wisdom, and peace be on the listener, the one who has uncluttered him or herself and has now a certain level of receptivity. Someone asked me in a private message, is God something or is God someone outside of us? Can you please elaborate on that? You have heard of Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Ramakrishna Paramahansa or Sri Ramakrishna said, as long as God is realized outside of us, there is ignorance. However, it's not significant to idealize a person. It's not significant to idealize a person or their words, but what is significant is to inquire into it, or self-inquiry. That's what is important. And for the same important and significant reason, we are going to look into it together. We are going to look into it together, and we are going to find out, or we are going to see what we are going to find out once we look into it much deeper and in much profound way, and when we are not associated or we are not engaged in a thought process, which is now, right now. Because if we are engaged in thought process, please remember that we are going to perceive everything that we know again. But if we are going to look into it something, we have to be completely open to it and totally impartial. If we are totally open to it, that's how we progress, and that's how we find what truth is. So what's the question again is God something outside of us? Can you elaborate on that? So I am going to give you a very clear example. Please, mind you, pay attention to my words as what I'm saying to you. I'm going to give you some examples, just as I said not long ago, just a minute ago, that just focus to what I'm saying, be open to it, and be totally impartial. Don't take my side or don't discard me. Either way, you cannot get any closer to the truth. But if you are open and you admit, or we admit to ourselves that we don't know, then we would know something new. I can promise you that. But if we are engaged in a thought process, we are going to perceive everything that we already know. If I what is this? Since I have it in my hand, I'm gonna have a sip because I'm going to talk a lot in next few minutes. I'm asking you a question. What is this? Of course, you see a bottle of water just right here. You would say it's a bottle of water, which it is. In reality, again, in my last retreat, words do not indicate to know reality. Or word is not that. Truth is happening right here. But anyway, we all, for the sake of, to cut the arguments, we all have agreed to call it a bottle of water, so it becomes a bottle of water. See, this is how word manifests the reality. So this becomes a bottle of water. So when I am asking you a question, that what is this, you are answering me that this is a bottle of water. Now, I'm going to take you a little further. Please pay attention and be with me. Am I aware of this bottle of water, or this bottle of water is aware of me? You understand what I'm saying? I'm asking you now a little further. Am I aware of this bottle of water, or this bottle of water is aware of me? You know the answer, I know the answer. Just keep the question in mind. Bottle of water, this bottle of water is an object. I ask you a question. Am I aware, or are we aware of this bottle of water, or this bottle of water is aware of us or me? You know the answer, keep that in mind. Of course, the answer is I, something which I call I, is aware of this bottle of water. This bottle of water has no awareness of its own. All right, we'll go a little further. I want you to look at your hand, and I'm going to do the same practice with you right now. I look at my hand as I'm looking right now, and you are watching me. So, am I, whoever that I is, am I aware of this hand? Whoever this I is, am I aware of this hand, or this hand is aware of me? You see, I mean, of course the answer is I, whoever or whatever. I'm not even limiting myself by calling it whoever, but I'm saying whoever or whatever, both, is that I is aware of this hand. This hand is not aware of me. It's a given. It's a fact. Anytime you look at your hand or a bottle of water, you never think, or you never have a feeling that these things are aware of me. You always, no matter how you look at it, no matter how hard you look at it for the sake of argument, you would always have the awareness that I am aware. This I, whatever or whoever that is aware. But all these things are not aware of us, but I, whatever that is aware. It's always the sense you maintain all the time. You maintain that sense all the time. You never had the absence of that sensation, never ever. No matter how hard you look at it for the sake of argument, the answer is going to be what I'm telling you. You always have the sensation that I am aware of, not vice versa. Now, I'm going to take you a little more further. Imagine a thought. Now, do not imagine a complicated thought, otherwise you would be deviated or you would part away from what my words are right now. And I want your concentration intact, your focus intact. So you remain with me if you want to really know the answer if God is something outside of us. To the person who asked in a private message, and also whoever is watching. It's just not limited, or it's just not specified or exclusive for that person. Whoever is watching this video, it's for everybody, all the humans. Now I want you to take a thought, maybe a simple thought, so you wouldn't go further and further and further in a thought process. I want you to take a thought, and the thought is 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. It's a simple thought. So what you are doing, basically, you are basically what thought is made of. If you further, if you further deassemble what thought is, you would see there are words and the concept. We throw word and the concept together, it becomes a thought. The thought is 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Are you aware of the thought, or the thought is aware of you? Whoever you are, or whoever this I, if I am having a thought in my mind right now, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, am I aware of that thought, or that particular thought is aware of me? The answer is I, whoever or whatever the I is, aware of the thought. The thought is not aware. I is aware of the thought. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand that what I'm telling you? I have given you 3 examples, and I have elaborated in 3 different ways. If you paid enough attention or enough focus towards my words, you would realize very clearly that what I'm saying to the person who asked me the question, that if God is something outside of us. Okay. Now take a clay pot, a small clay pot, for example. Take a small clay pot and look into it and focus on the clay pot. When you take a small clay pot, you focus on the clay pot, you see that all to that pot is the clay or the sand. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying take a thought, when you take a clay pot, and focus on that clay pot. It's just an example, but it's a very generic and easy example, so you wouldn't engage in a thought process any further. So take a clay pot and look and focus on the clay pot, and you will realize that all to the clay pot is the clay. The pot is made out of clay. There is clay pot, or the pot, because there exists the clay. But if there was no clay, there wouldn't be a pot. So the existence of the pot is depending on the clay. But the existence of clay is not depending on the pot. You see the difference? Everything is so simple and so generic. The most difficult thing in the entire universe can be understood by simple example and by a little focus. So now you understand what I'm saying to you. Okay, it doesn't have to be complicated. It's very simple. All there is to pot is basically the clay. Clay exists, so does the pot. So existence of the pot is depending on clay, not vice versa. If you are still a little confused what I'm trying to say, that is God something realized outside of us, if you are still confused, I have given you these examples. If you focus enough, you would find the answer. But if you are still confused or still struggling a little, I'll go even further. Suppose that you are sitting on a television screen and you are watching a movie. And what happens is basically somebody comes into the room and that person tells you, look at the TV screen on which the movie is played. Look at the TV screen on which the movie is played. So what happens is basically all of a sudden there is a release. There is a release of tension because the movie was really fascinating. It held your focus and you were all consumed as what's going on in the movie. But somebody, your friend, comes into the room and he says, look at the screen, and on which the movie is played. And then what happens is basically all of a sudden there is a defocus of the tension which was created between you and the movie screen, and then you look at the screen. Is it possible for you to watch the movie without the screen? Of course not. It's even nonsense to think like that. It's not possible to watch a movie without a screen. The only reason you are even watching the movie is because there is a screen, or in other words, pay attention to what I'm saying to you, or in other words, would there be a movie if there was no screen? All there is to that movie is the screen, you see, but you were so fascinated by watching the movie, you forgot all about the screen. So that's what I'm saying to you, and I'm not going to elaborate any more further, because I want you to focus on what I am saying, and I want you to look into it instead of me telling you something which is so generic. So the movie screen is all there is to the movie. So your body or your thoughts, your minds, all the impressions, all the thoughts and everything inside you is just like the movie, or the characters in the movie, or the tragedies in the movie. Okay, but what essentially is all about the movie is the screen on which the movie is played. Now, what you understand yourself, the body, this is a misunderstanding, a huge misunderstanding. You misunderstand yourself, or you confuse yourself with your body, and you confuse yourself with your thoughts, which is nothing but accumulation of data. Anything you perceive through your five senses, which are all outbound, if you paid ever enough attention to yourself, anything you perceive through those five senses makes what you think. You understand? You have heard something, you have seen something, you have tasted something. These are images, different type of words and stuff like that. That becomes your thought. Everything what you already know. And then the body, which is the accumulation of the food, and you confuse yourself. It's a really huge mistake, by the way. That's where the suffering comes from. And then you confuse yourself from that this is what I am. But truth of the matter is, this is not what you are. This is what you have accumulated. Just like the movie. The movie is being played and you are totally fascinated what's going on in the movie. That's what the misunderstanding of yourself is. And the bigger screen on which the movie is played is the real you. Now understand something. A real you is pure consciousness. It has no fabrication, it's not demented, or it cannot be harmed, it cannot be destroyed, it is eternal, it is out of time. These are some of the Upanishads wisdom I'm telling you right now. But even apart from that, through my devotion and spiritual practice, I know for a fact it's a fact. So real you is pure consciousness. When pure consciousness manifests itself in different forms and different shapes, which we understand as Maya, the word came from Sanskrit. It means illusion. So, when we see life through that, so we say this is the manifestation of consciousness. But consciousness itself has no form, shape, or anything. It's just a sense of self-awareness. You understand? It's just a sense. A sense cannot be described. Its sense is out of time. It's just a sense which gives birth to life, and life manifests itself in different forms and shapes. So that particular pure consciousness, also known as Brahman, the literal meaning of the word, it came from Sanskrit. The literal meaning of the word Brahman is that which is boundless, or that which has no boundary, or that which has no limits. That is the literal meaning, the word Brahman. It has no boundary, it has no form, shape. So pure consciousness is the Brahman. When it takes or it tries to know, you can call it Atman. Tries to know itself through a body and a mind, you can call it a Atman or soul or whatever. But the reality, the concrete reality that I am referring to, the I in you without the shape of body and mind, that sense of awareness or sense of self-consciousness, or when you say I am aware of myself, is the I of God. Now, has it been made clear to you now? You understand what I'm saying to you? That I does not belong to a body or mind. It cannot be personalized, nor it can be conceptualized. It's the pure consciousness which we understand in Upanishads, or the word came from Sanskrit, Brahman. That which is boundless, or that which is limitless, or that which cannot be harmed or destroyed or anything, is eternal. That's pure consciousness. And then when that manifests itself, it gives birth to life, which manifests itself in different forms and different shapes and different thoughts. That you understand as Atman. Okay? So I hope this video is clear to you. Anyway, if you have any questions about the video, you can ask me definitely. If you are too shy to comment or like the video, that's fine too. It has no difference on me. The only thing I'm trying to do here is trying to get you in touch with your real self so you would not suffer. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you in touch with your real self so you would not suffer. You would not look that miserable. It's just a joke. Do not take it serious. Somebody asked Jiddu Krishnamurti. Somebody said to Jiddu Krishnamurti, a real mystic, as far as I know. Somebody said to Jiddu Krishnamurti that God is love. And Krishnamurti answered him, how do you know? And he said, because, and Krishnamurti said, because you have been told. It's not your real experience, and if it was, then why are you like this? So, it's not a judgment, basically. It's not a judgment. He's not judging that person. He's trying to tell that it's about time when you get in touch with truth and start acting on it. Not just talk about the God is love or the idea. It's not your experience. You see, the only truth is truth for you, what you know through your experience. Rest is a story. God is love. Oh, really? How do you know? Or anything, any number of things which people say so rapidly or so rampant. Anyway, thank you for watching.